joining me today. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite products of 2017, as well as some of my current favorites for the month of December and what I've been dabbling into in January as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you check down below and subscribe, and also link down to the blog and the shop where I share with you beauty, spirituality, and natural health tips to live your best life ever. So let's get into it. I wasn't too sure if I was going to be doing this video today because I've seen so many best of 2017 and definitely have been great recommendations, and it is a little late in the month as well, but I said, you know what, I do reference a lot of my old blog posts for beauty products, especially hair products that I used to use back in the day. And depending on where I was in my life, I would go back and see, you know, what worked for me and what didn't work for me. So I said, at least this will work for me as reference that I can look back into and revisit some old products and see what worked for me, or, you know, just go back and see what I would like to repurchase or whatnot. So if anything, if you enjoy it, great. If anything, it'll be definitely of use for me to go back to in a couple of more years down the line. So without further ado, and before I continue to ramble along, let's get into it. Disclaimer, I'm going to say that a lot of the things I used in 2017 and that are my favorite are mostly skincare related. I do have some beauty here and health as well, but for the most part, definitely 2017 was a year of skin for me. And I'll start with this cleanser. I'm in love with cleansers. I always love the feeling of a cleanser, especially for my dry, sensitive skin. I have very dry, sensitive skin. It then tends to be very irritated around the nose area, especially when I have my sinus issues. And I also consider myself mature, so I'm always after anti-aging products and ingredients and things that I can use to just give myself that youthful glow and maintain it while I approach my 40s. I'm not there yet, but I am in my early 30s, but definitely you have to think about those things before you reach your age. First things first, before anything, I always say that it's very important that you take care of your mind, body, and spirit, because that will definitely radiate throughout your skin, and you'll show that glow from within when you are taking care of yourself on those aspects. Getting a lot of sleep is very important. Keeping stress at bay is extremely important. Stress not only, you know, wreaks havoc on your health, but also your skin and also your state of mind. So always practicing moments of self-care and just re-evaluating yourself and keeping yourself centered is very important, because stress can definitely be a killer. Drinking lots of water is also very important, something that I've been practicing for many years, and I think that is the best remedy. And I always notice that once I fall off on drinking water, my skin definitely shows that. So I always recommend drinking lots of water. It's very important to maintain beautiful skin as well as overall health. Also, curbing a lot of junk food. I love sweets. I have a sweet tooth and it's getting definitely the best of me. So working towards curbing my sweet tooth has definitely been a battle for me in 2017, but I am conscious of it, and it is something that I'm working towards, and in one of my goals for 2018 to really curb my sweet tooth. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it because sugar, again, can wreak havoc on your skin and also has a lot of negative effects on your health as well. So clean eating and just maintaining those tips in mind are very important. I have been practicing a lot of exercising, so thankfully I've been able to, not consistently as I would like to, or as a gym rat or crazy, but I definitely have been going to the gym and it has been working for me. And it's not to look good or to have the summer body, but definitely to feel good. I do find it's a great stress reliever. It's a great way to really change the scenery and just give your body just some movement, especially if you work at a desk from 9 to 5. So definitely very important tips before you really go into any skincare routine is to really evaluate your health in the aspect of mind, body, and spirit. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is this Aveeno Ultra Calming Foaming Cleanser, the best for my dry, sensitive skin. I like to use it especially when I'm using a lot of makeup. It takes away the majority of the makeup. I do the two-step system, cleansing system, especially when I am wearing makeup. So I like to use one cleanser and then follow up with another one just to make sure I get everything. If not, I always follow up a second time with a cleanser. I'm very apprehensive about foaming cleansers because they do tend tend to be drying, but those that are geared for sensitive skin, I've noticed that do help. So this Aveeno foaming cleanser definitely is great if you are looking for something affordable and easily accessible. One of my favorite for you to have in your skincare regimen, especially if you do. The next cleanser I have here, and that I use as a follow-up cleanser with any other cleanser that I use as a two-step system, is this Even Tone Derma E Brightening Cleanser, and it has licorice extract with vitamins B3 and C, and it's a great cleanser for you to have, again, if you have dry sensitive skin, because it doesn't strip your skin. It's a gel-based cleanser, and it smells really nice and citrusy. A lot of Derma E products are really nice, and again, so those were the two cleansers that I was using into the spring and summer as well. They do last a long time, but into the fall and winter, and currently I've been using the Egg White Perfect Pore Cleansing Foam Cleanser by Skin Food, and it's definitely been one of my favorites. So I have been using, and this is currently what I use. I don't use too many makeup, but on those days again that I do wear makeup, I like to follow up with that two-step system. So I'll use this on those days that I don't wear any makeup. It leaves the skin feeling very smooth, and definitely a little bit goes a long way. And it is like a cream base formula, and then once you use it on your skin, it starts to foam. But it really has been leaving my skin really nice, and it doesn't leave your skin looking too porous, and it doesn't strip it as well. So one of my favorites as well. So as mentioned, I do the two-step system, so at any given time I'll have two cleansers that I'm using at the same time. And another one that I started using in the fall, in addition to the Skin Food Egg White Cleanser, is this La Roche-Posay for normal to oily skin. And I did pick the wrong one, even though I have dry skin, but it has still been working for me, especially on those days where I'm wearing heavy makeup. This is a purifying foaming cleanser, so when you pump it out, it comes out as a gel, and then it starts foaming on your face. And one of my favorites to definitely take everything off. So normally, currently, what I use now is I use this cleanser first to remove all my makeup or anything else, and then I follow up with this one to get any residue or anything that I may have left behind, and also like a treatment to leave my skin feeling looking smooth. And since it is based on minimizing pores, it helps with that as well. I don't use this every single night, but on the days that I do use it, I notice a lot of difference, so that's why I like to incorporate it. But this one is definitely a nice cleanser, and it really isn't even that harsh. Even if it is for oily skin, it hasn't been that harsh on my skin. It leaves my skin still feeling supple without having that ultra dryness. And as you can see, I have used quite a bit, and it has become my favorite. So I know it's going to last me at least into the spring and early summer. So I'm looking to see what other cleanser I'm going to add to my regimen, but so far I'm really liking this combination that I'm using. Another honorable mention as far as cleanser is this Badger Unscented Face Cleansing Oil for sensitive skin. I really didn't get into the oil cleansing method as I did in 2016 throughout the year of 2017, but I did use this a lot in a lot of the face masks that I would use just for its cleansing purposes, and also to give it that moisturizing effect. But if you are into the oil cleansing method and you really like oils to cleanse your face, I definitely recommend this. On those days that I do want to remove some of my eye makeup, I may add this as well, but it's not predominantly a cleanser that I use. But one of my favorites, it is unscented, perfect for sensitive skin, and I did write a blog post about it on the blog, so if you want to get more details about it, how I use it in the oil cleansing method, I definitely recommend you check it out. So serums, in 2017, really haven't gotten into it, and you think me being into anti-aging products, and especially for sensitive skin, I would really have a serum in my routine, but a lot of them are really hard to try and test out because they are a little bit pricey, and you don't really see too much out there. I was really hesitant toward going towards one that was chemically based, but I really wanted to try a few that were organic or natural. But again, my budget really didn't allow for some of them, and I wasn't too sure if they would work out, because a lot of the serums that I have been trying out, I did try an Origins one, it did break me out, so I was a little hesitant on trying a new serum because I wasn't too sure what would work for my skin type. But I did remember about this Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair serum that I did try from the Estee Lauder counter from a sample a few years ago, and I really liked the texture and the way it left my skin. But again, I didn't go back to it because I wasn't too sure if it was something I wanted to invest in. But this past November, I bit the bullet and I did spend $65 on this, although I did get an employee discount because during the holiday season, I do work some retail nights and weekends, and I did get an employee discount of 25% off, so I ended up paying about $54. And I have to tell you, this stuff, I don't know if you can see, but it is almost empty. and I use it every single night, and it's definitely the best investment I've done for my skin. It's a really nice thick serum for the skin. You only have to use about half a pump. I always fill it up to the top, and this only dispense about half a pump, and then just tap it onto my skin every single night, and then I add my moisturizer. And I have to tell you, it has helped my texture of my skin a lot. It really gives me that brightness. I don't see too much of breakouts, and it just really leaves my skin super moisturized and soft. So definitely a serum is a must in your skincare routine, especially if you are over 30 or if you deal with dry skin. Serums are helpful to just help regenerate your skin and also retain that moisture, and I think that's what this one has definitely done for me. I don't know if I'm going to repurchase it, because since I'm now getting into serums, I want to see what else is out there. I have added a few into my favorites and also wish list, so I'll be checking them out and see which one I end up with. But definitely I agree that a serum is a must, because it really makes a lot of difference in your now speaking of moisturizers, you would think that me being of dry sensitive skin, I would definitely have quite a few to mention, but I don't. Actually, the only one that I have to mention as far as a moisturizer is this DeLaCruz Vitamin E Cleanser. And this you can find at any drugstore, and it is my holy grail. It's my favorite. It's just a must. It's super thick and creamy, and it's wonderful to use year round. Although in the summer you have to be careful with the type of foundation that you use, because the foundation that I was using was a little bit too thick, so using this underneath wasn't too good for me. But I was using the Embryolisse Concentrate moisturizer, which is definitely really nice to use during the summer months, because it is really light, but it gives you that moisturizing texture, as well as also use as a base. And it's actually what I'm wearing today, although it is very cold. I'm not going to be going out today, but I did like to use this when you don't really want that heavy texture. But during the winter months, especially for my dry skin, my skin soaks this up, and it really likes it. Especially if I'm using any sort of matte foundation, this really looks really beautiful underneath, and it only costs under $6 at my local Rite Aid and CVS as well. And it's definitely my favorite. This brand really has been working for me. I also like this other ointment that I use for on the spot acne, and it definitely works for me very nicely. So if you are looking for something that's affordable and again accessible, and you don't really want to spend too much money, I definitely recommend this DeLaCruz Vitamin E. Honorable mention as far as moisturizers is the Embryolisse Light Cream Concentrate. It's my favorite to use during the spring and summer months when I'm not wearing too much makeup, or even on those days when I don't wear any makeup at all. This is known to be almost as a base as well, so if you're not wearing makeup, it gives you that really nice glow without making your skin look too patchy. So definitely one of my favorites and an honorable mention. And very two favorite eye creams that I've been using throughout the years is definitely has been this Mychelle Dermaceuticals eye cream, the Fabulous Eye Cream for dry skin. A beautiful application when I wear my makeup underneath. It's not greasy, it doesn't leave any sort of residue, and it's definitely my favorite to wear underneath makeup, or on those days that I don't wear any makeup. This is definitely a must. Very light, but also very moisturizing. Another eye cream that I used throughout this year, but mostly the later part of this year, is this Clinique All About Eyes, and I tend to use this at night because it is a little bit thicker, but it is one of my favorites. It doesn't irritate my skin, and it doesn't irritate my eyes. Sometimes I notice that a lot of them do make my eye watery at night, so I really like this one because of that, especially for my dry and sensitive skin. So these two have been my favorite eye creams. Scrubs and treatments are my most favorite, but I do have to be very careful with my dry sensitive skin, because some scrubs can irritate me or just be a little bit too harsh on my sensitive skin. But this one, which I was a little bit skeptical about, is this Alba Botanica Hawaiian Detox Scrub. It's the anti-pollution volcanic clay, and it's a hypoallergenic scrub, and is my favorite skincare line of the year, hands down. I was a little bit skeptical because a lot of charcoal based products can be a little bit drying on my skin, and I did see that a lot of the scrubs in here are a little bit too coarse for my liking, but nonetheless it works, and it definitely is my favorite scrub of the year. I hope that they do not discontinue this line. It's my best scrub for me to use when I do notice that my skin is dull. I just need that extra glow Definitely one that helps cleanse and give you that ultra cleansing feel to the skin without stripping it or irritating it as well. So Alba Botanica, you definitely have hit the next scrub that I have here is this Mychelle Dermaceuticals Fruit Enzyme Gentle Exfoliator to smooth and clarify in one quick step, and definitely my favorite and recommended for those with dry, extra sensitive skin, because it's not too extra coarse or thick, and it doesn't irritate my skin at all, and it just leaves that beautiful smooth surface. I also in my shower use this as a lip scrub, and it works perfectly. I don't recommend it with this one because this is a little too coarse, so I don't know if that would be recommended, but I definitely love this one, and I use it almost not every night, but every other night. I do like to scrub at least 2 to 3 times a week, depending on those weeks where I do see my skin is a little sensitive. I may do it just once a week, but this one never fails, and it's my favorite. Face mask has definitely been my favorite. It's just a best way to just calm and relax and just give yourself that extra pampering. But steaming has been my best kept secret. I love steaming. Facial steams have been my ultimate favorite. Right now, I just use a bowl and add boiling water. But I do think I'm going to invest in it at least twice a month. And you really get the extra benefits from your masks and also facials when you do that take that extra step. Once I do my steaming step, the face mask that I've been loving and have loved to use is this Egg Pore Mask by Skin Food. And I have to give props to Lulu Lux at Instagram. I'll link her down below, because I did see her use this, and she used this on vacation one time, and she had been using it several times throughout her Instagram stories. And I was really curious because I've known about egg whites being good for the skin and have used it before in natural skin facials. So I was really intrigued to see how some of these masks were working for some people. So I did buy this along with the cleanser that I mentioned earlier and use this at least every 2 weeks, and I love the way it leaves my skin. Doesn't leave it feeling tight where it feels dry, but it gives it that nice tightness and firmness to the skin. And when you apply makeup at the end of the night, when I do use this in the daytime, you see how beautiful your skin feels. And I think I get the best results when I do steam. So once I steam, I follow up with this mask, and it just is, and it is really thick, so a little bit goes a long way, and it just really soaks up a lot. I haven't even used that much, and I've done a lot of these masks, and I'm just using what's on the lid here, but a little bit goes a long way, and it's the best mask to have. Once you leave it on your skin, you start seeing it drying, and you start seeing all your pores and whatnot, and then you rinse it, and it just leaves this really nice another texture. Powder that I definitely have been loving is this Aztec Secret Indian Healing Clay. I've been using this for years, and it just never fails me. Once I feel that my skin is breaking out, or it looks dull, it doesn't have that shininess, it just needs that extra cleansing, I go for this. Once I start noticing before my period comes down that I start breaking out in my T-zone area, I just use it as an on the spot or use it all over my face. This stuff is amazing. You really start noticing right away the benefits of this face mask. And I think if there's any face mask that you'll ever have, I think this is the best one to invest in. Use to steam my face first, and then follow up with this. And then I add a little bit of my Badger cleansing oil along with some vitamin E oil and rose water. Mix that together, leave it on my skin for 20 minutes, half an hour, rinse it, and it's just beautiful. I start noticing how my pimples start diminishing, and just my skin starts coming back. Into Korean beauty skincare, I've also been getting into a lot of sheet masks, and I think my favorite one is this Alba Botanica Hawaiian Detox Sheet Mask. Guys, I'm telling you, if you haven't gotten your hands on this brand, you must get your hands on it. If I have dry, sensitive skin, I'm sure it will work just as well for oily skin or normal skin types. It leaves your skin feeling ultra soft and clear, especially if you're dealing with any sort of breakouts. After I do my treatments and after I do my face mask, I like to follow up with this at the end. You just leave it on for 20 minutes and let the formula soak in your skin overnight, and the next day you just notice a lot of difference. So definitely one of my favorite sheet masks. You can find this at most of your local Another mask that I've been loving is the Shea Moisture African Black Soap Clarifying Mud Mask with tamarind extract and tea tree oil, and it's for blemish prone skin. If you deal with breakouts or acne, this is definitely the mask for you to get. I've been getting a lot of these for about $2.50 throughout the year, and I did see that they do have a full jar that I'm going to purchase and add to my collection because this stuff really works. On those days that I'm dealing with breakouts or before my period, I notice I like to put this mask on. It is very light, but it really works and really does the job. So if you're dealing with breakouts or you have an event that you want to go to and you want to just clarify and cleanse your skin without doing too much, without mixing any face masks, and you need something quick and on the go, this is definitely recommended. Speaking of acne and on the spot treatments, I did talk about this on my blog, and as I mentioned, this DeLaCruz brand is amazing. If you haven't gotten your hands on it, make sure you do check it out. But it's a sulfur ointment treatment, and I did mention it again on my blog and talked about it, how I use it and the benefits of sulfur on the skin. I was really surprised and have really been pleased with this. You can see I'm almost halfway through this bottle, but it's amazing for you to put as on the spot acne treatments. It doesn't over dry the skin too much as the other one that I did have, but this one moisturizes the skin while also getting into those nasty pimples that you may have. I also notice sometimes most of the pimples that I do have minimize overnight, and within a few days they're gone. So one of my favorite on the spot acne treatments is the DeLaCruz sulfur ointment. If you haven't gotten your hands on this, definitely a must. And I think this year I'm really going to get into more sulfur based products because throughout my research for my blog post, I did realize that not only is it good for the skin, but it's also great for health benefits. And I think we're done with skincare. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, but rose water is my ride or die every year. I add some here in the spray bottle that I use, and then also put a little quartz crystal. I've mentioned in some of my favorites throughout the year, but it's the best to just help enliven you, to help keep your skin clear. It helps with breakouts, with acne or anything like that, and especially with my overly dry and sensitive skin, this has been the best. I spray this on my face before I moisturize just to give my moisturizer that extra boost, and just put it all over my face, and it's just amazing. And during the summer, during the hot summer months, I spray this on my face to refresh myself and my aura as well. For sensitive and dry skin, this toner by T.N. Dickinson's Witch Hazel is just amazing. It helps when I'm dealing on those days when I'm having my sinus issues and I have a lot of redness and irritation. This helps calm my skin, as also bring down the irritation or any redness that I may be dealing with. I did run out, as you can see here, but I definitely recommend this. It cleanses amazingly, even on those times when I do my two-step cleansing system and I follow up with this with a cotton ball, it still picks up a lot of stuff. So one of my favorites, one that I've been using for many years, and I always go back to it, is definitely Witch Hazel. It is 100% all natural and the best. So I don't want to get too much into hair because I am going to do a separate post on some of my favorite hair products as well as my hair journey. I haven't talked about my hair for almost 4 to 5 years now, and I think I'm ready to reveal what's going on over here. But I do think I'm going to embark on a new hair journey, so stay tuned for that. But most of the things that I've been using for my hair have been naturally based, and I really want to keep it that way, although there are some products that I really love and just really can't keep away from. But Be Mine hair products just don't fail. I mean, they just really work for my hair. My hair is currently porous right now, so I'm going to have some issues with that for the next few weeks. But once I bring it back to life, I always use the Be Mine Luscious Balance Cream Moisturizer and also deep conditioner. I have like 4 of these around there. But Be Mine has been the brand that I stuck with throughout my hair journey, throughout the years of 2010 through, I would say, 2016. I still use it here and there throughout, but definitely have come back to it and it has not failed me. It's a really small brand, but definitely worth the couple of bucks that these cost. And one of my favorites. I really like their formulas. My hair really reacts to their products really nicely, and it's just been one of my favorites. So I'm really glad to mention that this is back in my hair care routine, and I'll be sharing with you a little bit more in another video. So enough with the skincare stuff. I'm ready now to talk about beauty. I don't use too much makeup. I don't wear a lot of makeup, and if I do, it's just some brown eyeshadow, a little bit of blush, concealer. But I do have some favorites as far as makeup is concerned. And the first thing that I want to talk about is this FX corrector. And I think in late 2016 and early of this year, there was a little, you know, craze of color correcting, but not as much as highlighting. And I did get into it because I have a lot of under eye circles, mostly due to my sinus issues and just hereditary. And I really wanted to try color correcting for my under eye concealer, because no matter what concealer I would use, I would never be satisfied with my under eye concealer, because I noticed that a lot of dark circles will still peek through, and I thought maybe using a corrector will help. So the later part of 2017 was all about Fenty Beauty, and I'm so glad that I got my hands on it, because it's definitely been one of my favorite makeup lines from a really long time, especially considering that it is from a celebrity and someone who doesn't have makeup background, as a lot of people were mentioning. I haven't tried any other. I think the only celebrity thing that I purchased was the Jaclyn Hill by I think Becca Cosmetics highlighter, and it was really, really good as well. But Rihanna came through for us black and brown girls, because definitely she really came out with some amazing colors and foundations and some really intensely amazing high quality products, at least in my eyes. Their Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, although the color was a little bit too orange for me, it did work for me because I still had my tan from the summer. But the quality and just the finish of the foundation was really, really beautiful, and probably the only foundation where I would have people actually ask me what I use on my skin. So Fenty Beauty really did a great job, and not to mention the extremely beautiful and extensive range of skin tones that she included in her line. So I was in the shade 310. I do think that I can go a little bit lighter, especially now during the winter months, but I think the 300 range would be good for me going into the spring. But definitely a repurchase for me, and my favorite matte stick trio. Been using it every day. Use it today. Under eye concealer, and also as a contour stick, and also bronzer. This is by far my favorite. I am in this shade tan, and that caramel concealer is the bomb for me. I love it. It works great under my eyes with the Cover FX color corrector. And for it being a stick concealer, I was a little bit hesitant on it, because stick concealers or anything stick based can be a little bit drying on my skin. But what I do is I rub it with my fingers and just tap it under my eyes, because the other concealer that I use is a little bit lighter, but this one has that little tone that it just balances it out perfectly for me. So I just tap it under my eyes. I don't use any brushes or anything, and that helps soften it and also helps with the application. Truffle, I use it as a contour, as you can see here, and also as a little bit as a bronzer as well. So my favorite foundation of 2017 hands down has been this Confidence in a Compact by IT Cosmetics Skin Transforming Full Coverage Solid Super Serum with SPF 50 UVA UVB Broad Spectrum. I mean, this stuff is just magic. It really is. If you have dry, ultra sensitive skin and you deal with a lot of redness, this is definitely the foundation to go. I have used this for at least 10 months. And I stopped using it because I went with a little bit more matte, since I was going to go with a little bit more of a thicker moisturizer. But I'm going to go back to this. I miss it. I love the way it makes my skin look and feel. And the color and the coverage is just amazing. So if you have dry skin and you don't want to look like you have a lot of patchiness or dryness, which tends to be the problem for those with dry sensitive skin, you have to try this. At first I was a little bit hesitant because the formula is so thick that you don't even know how to apply it. You can't apply it with a beauty blender. You have to apply it with a nice thick dense brush, and it just looks beautiful on the skin. It gives you that really nice skin glow. And even if you want to go on those no makeup days and you want to use something to at least give you some nice coverage, this works for it. Or you can also build it and give you that extra full coverage, again without looking too cakey, but again with that nice natural feel. So IT Cosmetics has definitely done it. Here's some interesting facts about it. It is a full coverage foundation, but again, if you give it a light hand, you can go with that light coverage. It's anti-aging hydrated super serum. It has SPF UVA UVB broad spectrum sunscreen, has collagen and antioxidant rich ceramides, and also developed with plastic surgeons and dermatologists in mind. It's talc free, paraben free, and cruelty free, and definitely a little bit goes a long way with this. So one of my favorites, it is all for all skin types, and if it's something that you want to invest in as far as makeup wise, and you have dry, sensitive, mature, and you're looking for anti-aging makeup as well, definitely the one to go. And I highly, last but not least, is this e.l.f. blush palette that I got a few years ago when I was shopping out with my sister in New York City, and we went into the e.l.f. store in the city, and look at these blushes. Amazing for my olive skin tone. I normally use this one when I use that red lip, or if I'm using Diva by MAC and I want a deep plum color but with a little bit tint of red, this is the one to go. But all these colors are amazing, and I use it for most of my winter looks. These two at the bottom are mostly for my summer looks, but they're so versatile and easy to travel with, super affordable, and one of my favorites. I don't know the color of it. I know that it says dark, but it is the e.l.f. blush palette, but I'm sure they still have plenty of more that are similar to this. But perfect for any girl that's on the budget, or if you travel a lot, or if you like to bring your palettes with you, definitely the one to go. My favorite. It doesn't leave you looking too patchy like some blushes tend to do. Some of them have a little bit of shimmer, some are a little bit matte, but definitely buildable, and the coverage and the pigmentation is beautiful and amazing. So e.l.f. definitely my favorite of 2017. So those were all my favorites of the year, and some of my current favorites for December and January as well. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope it's not too lengthy, we'll see. But again, I hope you got something out of today's video, and at least it gave you a little bit of insight as to the things that I like as far as beauty products are concerned. So thank you again for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you do subscribe, and if you got something out of today's video and you liked it, make sure that you like it as well. Thanks for watching. Make sure to come back. Bye.